Good morning, everyone. This is a short video to present this pair of derailleur and front and rear derailleur from Sachs that I think are way too underestimated and not really considered when someone is trying to set a bike with a 90s type derailleur. I take it from Grant Peterson, who said always often mentioned the 90s and the 90s mountain bike and bike technology as the untoppable 90s. And in this respect, I think it's really true. This is the Sachs Quarz derailleur. It was Sachs' top of the line group set in the 90s, and it's absolutely wonderful, and it doesn't really get the airtime it deserves, so I wanted to present it. These two derailleurs are almost new. They're probably mounted on the bike, not really ridden, but you can get actually these derailleurs really easily as new old stock. There are still many of them left, and this is just the probably the nicest derailleur ever made. I mean, especially the rear derailleur. Just look at that. It's such a wonderful, beautiful design. They were produced in France. It comes from the time where Sachs, German company who used to make mostly gear hubs, bought all the French bike companies from the 80s. So Ure was making derailleurs, and for a while the derailleurs were called Sachs Ure. You can find derailleurs named like that, and they bought Maya hubs and Mafak brakes and probably others that I can't remember now. Anyway, it all came to the Sachs lineup. That's what allowed Sachs to have a full group sets in the 90s. Neos and what was it called? Astera or something. But the Quartz group set was the top of the line group set, was supposed to compete with XTR. And in my humble opinion, it's better. It was lighter. It was heavier most of the time than XTR, but it was so reliable and beautifully made and strong. We'll just have a look at the front derailleur quickly. It was such a beautiful, fine, slender, elegant design of a derailleur with this very, very nice seat tube collar that integrates perfectly with the derailleur. This is the smallest version. There were two sides of them, of course. It was meant to shift 3x8. This is just a absolutely perfect front derailleur, and these are very cheap to buy now as new old stock. And if you're building up a Rivendell, a brother Mr. Wooden crust, you could do way worse than finding one of these front derailleurs. They were just, this one is the top pull design. There is a bottom pull version with the arm going up there. That's even more elegant, of course. But mostly the rear derailleur, it's absolutely wonderful. First of all, it's such a nice holistic design. I mean, look at the beauty of the machining and the polishing, and this how do you call that, like bent square shape of the derailleur. It's just perfect. It had a real proper metal tension screw, and not a plastic one that you would get often in the 90s on Shimano derailleurs, with a real seal that's very strong and thick, and there's no dirt or grind. It's going to go in there in the screw. That's beautiful, and just the polishing is wonderful. And if you remember when Shimano came with 2x11, what was it, like 2015 or something, and it was a big deal that the two screws at the back of the derailleur finally were meant for hex keys and not for screwdrivers. Well, this one was meant for screwdrivers and hex keys. Does it focus? Already, yeah, you can see it. Already in the 90s. I think this derailleur is from 94 or 96. And you see, you can use both hex keys or screwdrivers. And everything is just tight and strong and there's no play. And it has some beautiful details like this bolt, the cable bolt, is titanium. And the bolt for the pulleys, sorry, are titanium as well. And the bottom pulley is on a proper bearing. And the top pulley is mounted on a sealed, let's say, bushing. That's why it runs smoother. But these are very, very, very bulletproof components. And frankly, you can put a derailleur like that on your bike now, and in 20 years, it'll still be running. There's absolutely no play nowhere in any of the axles. And just look at the smooth, beautiful cage of the derailleur with this, curved shape form. It's just great. It's proper, beautiful, holistic design. It takes, it goes up to 34. Sorry, it goes to up to 42 teeth cassette. So you can easily, it probably, I'm sure it's conservative like these norms often are, so you can probably go to 34, but you can do a very nice friction shifting system with a Shimano XT cassette, 9-speed up to 32. I mean, that would be a dream, like the Rivendell Silver friction shifters with this derailleur at the back, and it just looks better than any XTR derailleur of the time. I mean, it's not opposite movement, of course. It's standard movement. It's when you let the spring goes, it goes back to, of course, the small cog. It has a very good, strong, big bolt for the frame. It's just wonderful. I think it is very underrated. And it cost new old stock way less than XTR derailleur, maybe less than XT derailleur. It's a bit heavy. That's the only thing. But I remember in the 90s, everyone was fed up with derailleurs having problems and breaking and getting loose, getting play. At some point, they bought a Sachs Quarz derailleur, and that was the end of it. That was the end of all trouble. And here you can just you mentioned on a rando bike with friction shifting to have a derailleur like that. The logo is very, very nice as well. There's a time where the logo was green. It changed at some point, like I would say between 96 and 97 something. These two are matched. They're the same logo, they're the same generation. But imagine a beautiful rando bike with this derailleur at the front. Well, probably it would be the bottom pull version, with this very, very nice clamp that has, it has a kind of a curve to it that's very beautiful. And this one on the back, absolutely lovely, and you're guaranteed to probably never have trouble with this. They are so strong, so stiff. I thought it was just time that they get their share of publicity, because if you're looking for a derailleur to put on your vintage mountain bike 8-speed, or most importantly to put on your friction shifting whatever bike from now, randonneur, gravel, mountain, I can't really think of anything better than this one, except if you're looking for opposite movement, what Shimano used to call rapid rise, in which case, of course, you have to go to Rivendell or Shimano vintage derailleurs, but for a classical derailleur. And there's a shortcut version of this, because Sachs used to equip Cannondale in the 90s for their team, and they had a short cage version of this mountain bike derailleur for downhill. You can find this very easily as well if you're running if you're running it on a road bike, for example. And as usual from the 90s, it works with road shifters, because these were the beautiful days where road and mountain bike components talk to each other, and you could put that on your, let's say, Shimano Ultegra 105 2x8 road bike, and it works. As far as I know, but I'm quite sure of that. Comment if that's not true. So, Sachs Quarz. Unfortunately, I can't put it on my Pashley because I would very much like to, but the seat tube is not a usual diameter, and I would need to shim to go for the bigger. It's difficult to put a front derailleur on my Pashley Morgan 110. It's really meant for one by, and if I put a derailleur, I would have to shim it first because the seat tube diameter, and then the derailleur would probably hit in the mudguard, and there's no attachment to route the cable for the front derailleur. And of course, this is the kind of derailleur you need to have a 2x or 3x system for, because 32 at the back, that's of course not enough for 1x if you want to have enough range. So sadly, I can't use it now. I hope I'll soon enough get an opportunity for that. But if I'd have to build a rando bike right now, this would definitely be my choice of a derailleur. Have a nice day.